I wanted Patrick Macnee because he's such a fabulous actor, and he lifts everything, and the part he had played was so peripheral. I mean, we really didn't dwell on the reptilian thing because the execution on that was going to be very difficult. In War of the Gods, that I had an explanation in there as to how he could have a similar voice, and I think it had to do with his being an influence on that character and that creature, and perhaps those were the Cylons were well converted, and so when he spoke with the voice of the devil.
I know you. I remember that voice.
Do you?
The voice of the Cylon Imperious leader.
The Cylon's a machine.
Yes, now. But once they were a race of beings who allowed themselves to be overcome by their own technology.
And when did this happen?
1,000 Yarans ago. At the onset of the 1,000 Yaran War against the humans.
And for my voice to be the voice of the Imperious leader, it would have to have been transcribed into machine leader 1,000 Yarans ago. I'd have to be 1,000 Yarans old.
You know, I liked exploring that connection to mythology and the Mayans and the Aztecs, and I think we only had begun to touch the periphery of what was possible in developing stories that would have gone more further into those wonderful concepts. And you know, I think that's what people found so intriguing. I know that's what I found so intriguing. I love the thought. I mean, Glenn Larson came up with a brilliant concept when he decided, rather than humans leaving Earth, traveling to the stars, which is, you know, that's a wonderful story too, but the thought of brothers of man finding their way back to Earth, I thought that was an extraordinary, interesting twist that he put on it, and people loved that.
Glenn had created such wonderful characters, and they were so vivid that by the time, in any series, by the time you're at the end of the first season, if a show goes on for several years, eventually you go back, and if you see in reruns the first season, it's very little, as you know, so much has changed that the characters basically have evolved into another place. And I felt by the end of that first season, we were on a good footing to be launched into the second season. Well, of course, my hope was, of course, that you would continue on. Starbuck and Cassiopeia by second season could not have been sealed, because that's like, you know, the end of things. You've got to ever be moving towards that. And Starbuck's the kind of guy that would never have been quite caught. And Cassiopeia was too smart to ever try to corral him. He was already, in a sense, in that place that, you know, they had a great... Boy, you hear me? I'm fantasizing. This whole thing is just huge.
When the show was canceled, we were all surprised. I actually was in Hawaii on vacation when I found out, and I read it in the paper. And I read it in the paper and thought, oh, it was kind of a, sort of like a dull thud, I guess. It was very shocking and surprising, and the thing I felt the most was, oh, I wasn't done. I had so much further to go with her. She was such an interesting character to explore and to build, and I wasn't done. Basically, that's how I felt.
I wish to God we'd had a second season, because with Isaac Asimov as head story writer, we would have gone into the subject matter in very, very interesting, very profound ways. And I think if you could blend that with wonderful, endearing characters, you would have been able to have the perfect blend of action, plot, character, and story.
A studio that does not elect to take advantage of motion picture rights loses those rights over a period of time, and they revert to the writers. So at a certain point, we put them on notice that we wanted our rights back. I was in court the day before yesterday and finalized getting back the full rights to Battlestar as a feature.
You know, there's still hope for a Battlestar Galactica movie, either from Glenn, Tom, or myself or whoever else may be in a position in the coming couple of years, and
The way
in
the
a
fans
position
want
to pull it all together and make it happen.
I would like to thank the fans for always being there and being so supportive and sharing in the dream of what Glenn created.
You know, for the fans who've been such loyal fans from the very beginning, I thank you. Thank you for seeing what we saw in this show. Thank you for appreciating what we did. Thank you for being so loyal and for keeping it alive so that other generations might be able to enjoy it.
I'm grateful to all these people who are coming out now and helping, and they're getting together with the upcoming weekend at the Sheraton. And I hope they have fun, and I hope people who come have fun seeing them all and sort of revisiting the legend.
Fleeing from the Cylon tyranny, the last Battlestar Galactica leads a ragtag fugitive fleet on a lonely quest. A shining planet known as Earth.
Well, gotta go. See ya. Hope you enjoyed your time here with me, and I'll just have to launch when ready.